Imagine standing in Antarctica. There are no cities, no forests, no roads stretching toward the horizon, just an enormous white landscape disappearing into the distance. At first glance, it looks like one of the emptiest places on Earth. But that is exactly what makes Antarctica so strange. Because what you're looking at isn't really Antarctica. It's a layer of ice. And beneath that ice is an entire world we can't see with our own eyes. Scientists have discovered mountains, valleys, lakes, rivers, and landscapes buried beneath kilometers of frozen material. Some of these features have been hidden for millions of years. And here's the unsettling part. We still don't know everything that's down there. To understand why, we have to go beneath the surface. The Antarctic ice sheet is enormous. In some places, the ice is kilometers thick. So imagine trying to explore a landscape while several kilometers of solid ice are sitting on top of it. You can't simply drill through everything. You can't send a normal vehicle down there. And you certainly can't just walk around. Instead, scientists use aircraft, radar, satellites, seismic measurements, and other technologies to build a picture of what lies beneath. And what they've discovered has completely changed the way we think about Antarctica. Because beneath the white surface, there isn't a flat frozen floor. There is a buried landscape. A landscape with mountains, deep valleys, and enormous geological structures. It's almost like another continent is hiding underneath the continent we already know. But the landscape is only the beginning. Because in some places, the ice itself isn't sitting on solid ground. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice are hidden bodies of water, subglacial lakes. They exist beneath enormous amounts of ice, sealed away from the surface. And one of the most famous is Lake Vostok. It's buried beneath roughly 4 kilometers of ice. Think about that. Above it is one of the coldest environments on Earth. But beneath it, liquid water has remained hidden from the surface for an incredibly long time. There is no sunlight reaching that environment. No normal ecosystem like the ones we see on the surface. And yet scientists are intensely interested in these hidden lakes because they could potentially contain clues about how life survives in extreme environments. And that's where the story gets even stranger. Because Antarctica doesn't just appear to contain isolated underground lakes. There are systems of water moving beneath the ice, which means the world underneath Antarctica may be far more dynamic than the frozen surface suggests. When most people imagine Antarctica, they imagine frozen water. But beneath the ice, water can move. The enormous pressure created by kilometers of ice, combined with heat coming from Earth's interior, can allow water to exist beneath the ice sheet. That water can flow, and scientists have found evidence of networks connecting subglacial lakes and channels. So while the surface appears completely frozen and motionless, beneath it, water can be moving through darkness. Imagine looking across an Antarctic ice field. Everything seems silent. Everything seems still. But underneath your feet, water may be traveling through a hidden landscape that you cannot see. And that matters for something much bigger, because water beneath the ice can influence how the ice itself moves. And that means the hidden world underneath Antarctica isn't completely separated from the world above it. It's connected. Now imagine discovering a mountain range and realizing that almost nobody can see it. Beneath the Antarctic ice are massive geological features that have been hidden from direct view. Some buried mountains rise dramatically beneath the ice, and scientists have had to use radar and other measurements to reconstruct their shapes. This creates an almost surreal picture. Imagine removing the ice from Antarctica. The continent would look completely different. There would be valleys cutting through the landscape, mountain ranges rising from the ground, and enormous geological structures that have been hidden for ages. The ice isn't simply covering a flat piece of land, it's hiding a complicated world. But there is another reason scientists are interested in these buried landscapes. They may contain clues about Antarctica's ancient past. Today, Antarctica is almost synonymous with ice, but millions of years ago, parts of this continent looked radically different. There were periods when Antarctica supported forests and very different ecosystems. Evidence preserved in rocks, sediments, and fossils has helped scientists reconstruct parts of this ancient history. And that means the frozen landscape we see today is only one chapter. Underneath the ice are traces of an older Antarctica, a warmer Antarctica, a greener Antarctica, a world that existed long before the continent became the frozen environment we recognize today. And this creates an eerie thought. The ice sheet may be hiding pieces of a world that disappeared millions of years ago. Not because someone buried it, but because the planet itself changed. And some of that ancient landscape is still sealed beneath the ice. Now we reach one of the biggest questions. Could life exist beneath Antarctica? Scientists have found microorganisms in extreme Antarctic environments, and the possibility of life in isolated subglacial environments is an important area of research. But this isn't some underground civilization. It's not a secret ecosystem filled with giant creatures. The reality is much more fascinating. Scientists are interested in how microscopic life could survive without sunlight, in freezing environments, under enormous pressure, and with extremely limited sources of energy. And that matters far beyond Antarctica. Because if life can survive in extreme environments on Earth, it could change the way we think about where life might survive elsewhere. There are places in our solar system where scientists suspect liquid water could exist beneath icy surfaces. Europa, Enceladus, and perhaps other worlds we haven't fully explored. Antarctica becomes a natural laboratory, a place where Earth can help us understand alien environments. But there's still something beneath Antarctica that makes the entire story even more difficult to understand. Here's the fundamental problem. We haven't explored Antarctica's hidden world the way we have explored the surface. Much of what we know comes from indirect measurements, radar, satellite observations, seismic data, geophysical surveys. Scientists take those measurements and reconstruct what they believe is beneath the ice. That means the map under Antarctica is constantly improving. New surveys reveal structures that weren't previously known. Hidden valleys, subglacial lakes, channels, mountains, and geological features. But every discovery also creates another question. What else is still hidden? There are enormous areas beneath the Antarctic ice that remain difficult to study directly. And Antarctica is so vast that even with modern technology, we are still looking at only part of the picture. Which brings us to one of the strangest possibilities. Antarctica isn't just hiding geography, it's hiding time. Under the ice are layers of ancient snow and ice that accumulated over enormous periods. Those layers can preserve information about Earth's past climate. Scientists can drill ice cores and examine trapped gases, dust, chemicals, and other clues. It's almost like reading pages from Earth's history, except the pages are frozen. And some of those pages are incredibly old. By studying them, scientists can reconstruct how Earth's atmosphere and climate changed over time. So beneath Antarctica isn't just a strange hidden landscape. It's also an archive, a frozen record of a planet that looked very different from the one we live on today. And the deeper scientists go, the further back in Earth's history they can potentially look. Antarctica is often described as a frozen desert, and from the surface, that's exactly what it looks like. But beneath the ice is a completely different story. There is moving water, there are buried mountains, there are hidden valleys, there are ancient landscapes. There are microscopic organisms surviving in extreme environments, and there are enormous amounts of information locked inside the ice itself. Yet even after decades of scientific exploration, we still haven't uncovered everything. That's what makes Antarctica so fascinating. The mystery isn't that scientists discovered some secret civilization beneath the ice. The mystery is much more real. We have an entire hidden landscape, buried beneath kilometers of ice, and we're still learning what it looks like. Every new survey can reveal something that was invisible before. A lake, a mountain, a river system, an ancient geological feature, something that has been sitting there, possibly for millions of years, waiting for us to finally notice it. And perhaps the strangest thing about Antarctica is this: we don't need to invent monsters beneath the ice. We don't need aliens. We don't need conspiracies. Because the real Antarctica, the one hidden beneath the surface, is already strange enough. And we've probably only seen the beginning.